Hi everyone, I am back with a new episode in my Arty Musings series. And yesterday I asked you guys what you would like to see and whether you would like to have a sneak peek into my workspace. And the majority of you said yes, you would like to have a look at what I'm working on. So I thought I would share with you what painting I'm working on and what my space looks like. Now, I am not the best camera person in the world, and this may be a bit awkward as I try to navigate my phone to show you what I'm doing, but I hope you get an idea of what my office looks like. I am not very dressed up today. I rarely am when I'm painting because I tend to get, paint everywhere, and I don't want to get it on any of my good clothes. I'm not much of a fashionista, or I try not to be a trendy person clothes-wise. So I tend to wear clothes for years and years and years until they're so worn out that they get transferred to my art department, where they get used as basically rags like what I'm wearing right now, or even they get used for painting purposes. This used to be a pair of pants, which I now use as a cloth to wipe my brushes on. So I try to recycle that way. So that's what happens to my clothes. But I do get paint everywhere, including the floor. And one of the reasons I never get my nails done is because I'm getting paint on my hand on a daily basis. There's just no point. So that's the reason why I am a bit plain today. But regarding what I'm working on, I have started a new series, even though I haven't quite completed the previous one. And with this one, I actually want to have a lot more fun, and instead of being as conceptual and symbolic as I was in the last one, I'm trying to go for mood and color atmosphere. And again, these are in small sizes, they're paperworks. But the theme for this is actually going to be slightly masculine, and for those who know my work, I am a big fan of the female form and the female face. I rarely work on the male or the masculine. But for this one, let me show you. I'm not sure if you can see it, but this is what it looks like, after about 1 or 2 rounds of paint. I'm basically going to be working on a theme of elven kings, but it's not going to be portraits as such. I just want to be able to capture a specific mood or an atmosphere using certain keywords. So for this one, I was thinking of forest and moonlight as keywords to choose colors. And it might not be that he'll be in a forest in moonlight, but it's just to give myself an idea of what kind of mood and color choices I would take. So yeah, this is what it looks like for now. This is what stage 1 would be like. Just textures, the basic form put in. I don't know if you can see it with the glare. But I hope to have a whole series like that with different colors throughout. And let me show you my workspace around me right now. So there are sketchbooks over there, as you can see, and notebooks. This is my color chart notebook. I basically write down all the colors as I would use on a specific painting. So when I start a piece of work, I will note down the location, the date, and then the time I start, just so I just like saving data. And then I will write down all the colors that I will use in that specific painting, and the purpose is so that I can always refer back to it if I ever need to do touch-ups, or if I do another painting in the future, which I would hope to use similar colors, then I can go back and think, okay, so I used these shades to get that kind of mood or that kind of background atmosphere. I also have a very ancient tab over there that I use for reference photos whenever I need them, or I have music playing on that. Various colors, brushes, and sponges, more sketchbooks, colors again, and this is the board that I use, as you can see, to keep my painting on so that I don't paint directly on the floor. I have my paints and more brushes, and this is my trusty spray where I love sprays. I basically fill it up with water because I use acrylic paints, and I use this to keep my paints dry so that they don't end up drying before I get them on canvas. But also I spray the canvas or the paper quite often to keep it wet, or if I'm trying to go for certain textures so that it pulls off the color. I think I mentioned this before, and actually I can show you what the kind of textured effects I can get with trying color around. So this is another painting I did some time ago. As you can see, it's very textured. A lot of color has been removed, and this is actually a painting that's sort of inspiring the one I'm doing right now, because it's a rare piece because there is a masculine face here, and like I mentioned earlier, I don't usually paint masculine, but it's something I do want to explore a little bit. But again, I prefer my men to be elvish, so elvish he shall be. Let me go sit back down, and then I will talk a little bit more about the work I am doing. It is very hot these days, really hot here in Sri Lanka, and I don't know if it's that or if it's just a low energy phase, but I find that in my cycles of creativity, or say in my year of work, I will have days where I have high productivity rates, so I will be able to say for over a span of 2 months I'll be able to put out an entire series sometimes. But then sometimes of the year I will be less productive. I'll be more low energy. I'll be working on things, you know, a few hours every day, but I feel like everything is much slower. I'm not so in tune with the creative force. And when that happens, I know it's time to slow down. It's that time of year when my energy is ebbing, and I'm in that state right now. So one of the things that I do is either I spend more time conceptualizing, because it's not like I lack ideas in that time period. It's more like I will have ideas, but I will not be able to transfer them onto a canvas of paper and complete them. So what I do is I will either gather ideas, and at the same time I will feed my mind. So I spend a lot of time going back to things that inspired me as a child, or reread books that I really loved, spend time in nature. And actually, regarding reading books that I really love, I'm actually going back to a lot of the fantasies stories that I loved as a child that inspired me, especially since I'm working on the Elven Kings, which I do hope to turn into a series. So that is what I'm doing these days, actually, just feeding my soul, feeding my mind at the moment, and spending time coming up with ideas so that when I do get into a state where I am highly productive, I'll have ideas to immediately take out and put onto canvas. To give you an idea of the sketch, this is how rough the sketches were. This is what I would call like a 15-minute doodle, maybe not even 15 minutes actually, of deciding what kind of angles I would take for the series. And like I said, I wanted to have a lot of fun with this, so it's not going to be detailed in the sketches. I'm just going to let the paint play around on the paper and then have fun with it and explore the possibilities of each painting, instead of coming up with a very strict idea of, right, this is the concept, this is how I want to look for it to look like, and this is how we're going to execute it. It's more like I'm going to come up with an idea and then let the painting lead me along a journey so that I can learn a lot more. Because the last series was not very strict, but I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So this one is going to be a lot more unknown for me, but hopefully I'll learn a lot more too. I hope that gave you an idea of what I'm doing right now. I will try to do more of this actually, but I am limited to 10 minutes, so I'm going to sign up for this one, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.